Tonight, our Animal Investigations Unit is taking on the case of a dog just like you, little Rico. But this dog was gruesomely beaten nearly to death. This beautiful pit bull found near a playground in Quincy, Massachusetts. She was only 1 or 2 years old, but she weighed half of what she should have. The vet who examined her says this wasn't abuse, this was torture. Listen.
There was beating over and over again in the same area. And then some of the joints that are dislocated look as though they've been pulled apart. She wasn't able to stand or walk. She had broken ribs. She had broken bones in her spine. She had crushed cheekbones. She had burns to her nose. She was stabbed in the eye.
This poor animal suffered more than 17 injuries during her short lifetime. A woman who claims she was the dog's original owner says she was forced to give her up. She put her up for adoption on Craigslist. She claims that the woman she handed Puppy Doe over to seemed wonderful and sent her updates. Those updates stopped in July. Now authorities are on the hunt for the sadist who did this. They have few leads. Listen.
Someone who would go to that great lengths over a period of time to abuse an animal more than likely will do that again to another animal, or worse, to an individual.
If this horrifying story makes you angry, we're also going to tell you how you can help prevent inhumane treatment of 9 billion other animals, and they happen to be farm animals. We'll tell you about that in 1 second. Straight out to my very special guest, Martha Smith Blackmore of the Animal Rescue League of Boston. This Puppy Doe case is inspiring visuals, 37,000 likes on Facebook, and most importantly, a look at the problem with putting dogs up on a social media and say, here, I can't keep her anymore, you take her, right?
It's true. Everybody has been just absolutely horrified by what happened to this one dog.
Yeah, what's happening in terms of, I understand that law enforcement taking this very seriously, and they are treating this like a crime case, which it is, and they are on the hunt for these suspects or suspect. Tell us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're taking this case extremely seriously. They're following a number of leads, and I have great hopes that this case is going to be solved.
You know, it's very sad to imagine our precious pets being tortured as horrifically as Puppy Doe was. But billions of animals are abused every day. Pigs have a higher IQ than dogs, but the Humane Society says they are routinely tortured on factory farms. Martha Stewart just weighed in on factory farm abuse. She said, quote, these animals have committed no crime, yet they're treated worse than even the most violent criminals would be treated. No prisoner in our state or country, for that matter, is kept in a cage so small he cannot turn around for months on end. This is torture, end quote. So look at these pigs crammed into gestation crates, so tiny they can never turn around. Now, the current Farm Bill contains the one that's being proposed, something called the King Amendment. Straight out to Paul Shapiro of the Humane Society of the United States. Why do you want Americans to call their member of Congress and their senator and say, vote no on the King Amendment?
Jane, animal cruelty is always wrong, whether the victim is a dog or a cat or a chicken or a pig. And in the meat industry, animal cruelty is rampant. Unfortunately, we now have an effort in the Congress by Iowa Republican Steve King to wipe out state anti-cruelty laws, laws that are designed to prevent the type of abuses that we're seeing on the screen right now. If anything, we need more laws to prevent animal cruelty, not fewer.
We reached out to Representative King for comment. First of all, he called the Humane Society of the United States the vegan lobby. That's interesting. I'm a vegan, and I have a lot of pride about that. He went on to say, in no way does my amendment affect state animal welfare laws. My amendment only says that a single state cannot impose their state law on any other state. Your response to that, Paul Shapiro of the Humane Society of the United States?
Jane, it's simply hogwash. A wide array of organizations, from the Humane Society of the United States to the Fraternal Order of Police to the National Sheriff's Association, are saying that enough is enough. This King Amendment has got to be killed. States have the right to protect animals from cruelty. The Congress should kill the King Amendment, and they should do it now.
Rico, we have to expand our circle of compassion to all animals. Most animals in America are farm animals. 9 billion of them. Stay right there. We'll be back in a moment.
Why would they do it? Defenseless. Just like a little kid. Whoever did it, I don't care whether it's the owner or some other nut. Put them in jail and throw the key away.
In the wake of Puppy Doe's tragic death, there's been so much support from the online community. So many people expressing their love for Puppy Doe. There's been controversy also about Craigslist's pet adoption section. A petition to shut down that section has almost 40,000 signatures. And essentially the complaint is Craigslist is anonymous and it's a, quote, could be a go-to source for animal abusers looking for victims. Craigslist responded claiming their pet adoption section has saved countless pets from euthanization, from being put down, from being killed. Martha Smith Blackmore, what do you want to see happen?
Well, it's important that people always plan for their pets. You know, you never know when there's going to be an unforeseen circumstance where you might have to give up an animal. So you ought to have the plan for what's going to happen well before some kind of personal disaster arises. And that includes getting to know your local animal shelters, which ones have high-quality programs that you can rely on to do the right thing with your pet.
Don't ever give your pet away to a stranger. Paul Shapiro, expanding our circle of compassion to pigs. And these pigs have a higher IQ than these little dogs right here. They're sentient beings. If you did this to a dog, it would be torture. So what do you want people to do specifically?
People should visit humanesociety.org/stopking and find out how you can contact your member of Congress and urge him or her to kill this King Amendment. No animal deserves to be tortured, whether a pig or a chicken or a dog or a cat.
One day we'll look back on this and say, what were humans doing in the 21st century that billions, 9 billion farm animals treated like this, and there are so few protections. And so the Humane Society is saying, call your senator, call your representative, member of Congress, and say no to the King Amendment. Remember, we have to speak for these animals. They have no voice. And of all the animals, farm animals are the most voiceless. Imagine living like that your whole life, never able to turn around. It's obscene. Together, I know Americans are decent people. We care about animals. We're going to make a change.